Hi everybody, this is Alan Ellman, the Blue Collar Investor, and this is going to be a video tutorial of our enhanced version of our Premium Member Stock Report. Our reports consist of two sections. First, the weekly stock screen, and then the watch list. There's an awful lot of information contained in these reports, so I want to review that with you, plus go through the new enhanced version of the report to make sure that you could fully utilize all the information so that your level of profits goes to the highest possible points. So let's get started with the beginning of the report. And the first page here is our weekly stock screen. And on this first page, we show three things. First, the market tone, which consists of an analysis of the weekly economic reports that came out in the past week. This will give us a feel for how our economy is progressing. In the middle of the report, we show a summary of the weekly exchange-traded funds. These include the funds in general, plus select SPDR sector funds, and finally inverse ETFs as well. And at the very bottom of this first page, we will give our BCI summary of how we feel the market is doing, and it'll also show the Investor's Business Daily summary as of 4 p.m. Eastern Time on that previous Friday. The next page is our weekly stock screen. At the top blue bar, which I labeled Section 1, it shows all the screens that we put our stocks through, starting with fundamentals, then technicals, and common sense screens. To the left, we show the symbol or ticker symbol of the stock, the company name, and where it says weekly rank, if there's a number, that's the rank within the IBD 50. If it says other, then it came from the BCI database of eligible stocks that we've been collecting over the past 7 or 8 years. We also show the recent price of the stock. The rest of the screens consists of fundamental, technical, and common sense screens, and the column all the way over to the right shows the earnings report, whether or not it's coming out that particular month. Below that in Section 2, we show the stocks that have passed all of those screens and have the very strongest technicals. So they have passed all the screens and confirming technicals as well. Those are the strongest performers at that point in time. Section 3 shows stocks that have passed all the screens, however, have earnings reports coming up in that month and therefore are not eligible until the earnings report passes. And finally, below that in Section 4, we show stocks that have mixed technical data, basically have passed all the screens, but the confirming technicals, like perhaps MACD or stochastics, is not confirming. So they're slightly weaker technically, but still eligible for consideration for writing covered calls. These stocks also have no earnings report in the current month and therefore are eligible candidates. Moving on to the next page now, Section 1 shows a continuation of the last section from the previous page. Section 2 shows stocks with mixed data, but do have an earnings report in the current month and therefore are not eligible until that earnings report does pass. And below that in the pink shaded area, Section 3, are stocks that have failed one or more screens and therefore are not eligible in the current month. It will also show which of the screens it failed. Now we're going to move on to the watch list, which we call the running list and what I consider the meat and potatoes of our reports. We'll first take an overview of this section and then we'll zero in on all the critical information found within this section. Section 1 at the top is the key. It'll explain and define all the different categories found in this particular section. Section 2 to the left will show you all the stocks that were eligible starting the week before this particular contract began and each week of that particular contract. Section 3 is our running list or our watch list. I consider this the most important part of the report. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a closer look at every aspect of the running list. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through the columns left to right, starting with the actual running list. And those are the stocks that are eligible for consideration. Now you'll notice that the top two stocks are in gold rows. The caveat here is those stocks are eligible except they do have an earnings report coming out in the current month. So it's very easy for our members to pick up on which stocks have earnings reports, and therefore you'll have to wait for the report to pass. Now you'll notice that there are numbers in parenthesis on this first column to the left. Those are the number of weeks that that particular stock has been on our premium stock list. Obviously, the higher the number, the stronger the stock. You'll also note that some of the stocks are in bold. Those are the ones that have passed all screens and are the strongest technically. The second column from the left says next earnings report date, and those are projected earnings report dates, and we get that from earningswhispers.com. And should that date change by a day or two or three, we'll be able to make note of that the following week. But it will give us a very, very good idea as to when earnings is coming out. To the right of that, we named the industry. We don't want to have too many stocks in the same industry because diversification is very important to us. And to the right of that is the actual rank of the industry. Where you see two letters, the one to the left is the current week rank, and the one to the right is last week's rank, if that stock was in fact on our running list the previous week. In the middle of the page is beta, or the historical volatility of the stock compared to the S&P 500. Stocks with high betas tend to outperform in bull markets. Stocks with low betas tend to outperform in bear markets. I consider this a secondary parameter in our screening process. To the right of beta is percent dividend yield. Many of our members like stocks that also generate dividends. The percent dividend yield is the annual dividend divided by the price per share. To the right of that is a column, are weekly options available? Many of our members are interested in weeklies, so we now list them on our reports and let you know which of these stocks that have passed our screens also have weeklies associated with them. This is one of our new features. To the right of that is a column that tells you whether near the money strikes have an open interest of more than 100 contracts. The BCI methodology requirement is that our options have decent liquidity, and that means more than 100 contracts or a bid-ask spread of 30 cents or less. And the final column all the way to the right, where it says comments, we list the ex-dividend dates for those stocks that do generate dividends, or sometimes additional information, which you'll see in a slide or two. So as you can see, there's a huge amount of information just at the top portion of this particular running list page. Below that, number one, I've highlighted that because you could see that we listed the earnings report in red. That means that the company has actually confirmed that as the date that the earnings report will be made public. The others are very accurate, but not yet confirmed by the company. Number two shows broken black lines. What we do is we divide the earnings report dates of all the stocks that have passed our screens by contract months. So in this particular screenshot, stocks Jazz through FRGI report during the March contracts. And all the way at the bottom, we show stocks that passed the previous week's screens but failed the current week's screens. So those are stocks that were eligible last week but not eligible during the current week. Below that, in section 1 there, you see a continuation of the last screen. And where it says number 2, I highlighted that to show you that not only we have stocks that are removed completely from the running list, both from the white and the pink cells, if they have failed 3 weeks in a row. I also highlighted by circling in green information sometimes found in the comments column that the BCI team feels may be of interest to you. In this particular case, a stock that's acquired by another company. So as you could see, there is a huge amount of information found in our premium stock reports. We want you to be able to utilize all this information so that you can achieve the highest possible returns in your covered call writing portfolio. So thanks so much for listening. I hope you found this information useful. As always, this is Ellman, the Blue Collar Investor. Take care, everybody.